Good morning, everybody. It's May the 27th, regular meeting, Commissioners Court, Liberty County, Texas. It's about 9:06 a.m. Let's call the meeting to order. Let the record show that all the commissioners are present today. We do have business for the court, so let's get busy, okay? If y'all would all stand, Lee, if you would just lead us in the pledges, please.
Please face the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please face the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
And if y'all would pray with me this morning, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, as we thank you for every day that you grant us the opportunities in life to start over fresh, to get up in the morning and put our feet firmly on the ground and give our praise to you, and then go out in the world and see if we can make it a better place. Lord, yesterday was Memorial Day, and for all the families, for those that served, that didn't come home, through every conflict that our country has seen, and for every country that has been involved in such. Lord, we ask you to give them just one extra hug from us and our thanks through eternity. Lord, for all the wonderful blessings you give us every day in life, and for your guidance, Lord, for your grace, we thank you. Please forgive us where we fail you every day, Lord, and please always help us to do better. In Jesus' most precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Notices and proclamations. Dee Dee, I don't think we had any notices or proclamations today, but we do have a public comment. Mrs. Acevedo, if you would, please, ma'am. Good morning. And let's see, I have your address is 16827 Methel Drive in Spring, Texas. Okay, thank you. And please, you have 3 minutes. And as you know that we can't comment, but we can sure listen, okay? Thank you. All right.
Good morning. It's been a long years. Since 2019, I've been arguing that we have issues back in Camino Real. Nobody listened. Everybody just kept pushing me aside. I said, I'm not going anywhere. Unfortunately, you have to see the proof. There's been a lot of proof. Now, Homeland's here, and why I was not getting any response is it because the Colony Ridge attorney, Brett Lane, sent out a mass email giving me a mental evaluation saying all my complaints that I have made are without merit. I asked for transparency, public information request. Long story short, people replied they had no correspondence emails, but thank you, Matthew Poston. You send me everybody who had it. I really appreciate that. Number two, the roll concrete. It was brought to my attention for your guys' Zoom that it's miserably failed. Okay? Pretty much a trial period is temporary implementation. 9 years of roads, roll concrete being laid down for 9 years is not a trial. The constituents are going to pay to fix it. Long story short, just like you guys annexed the roads, de-annex them because the constituents were up in the Attorney General's office arguing about the roads. We knew the roads were no good. We knew from the beginning. Why the constituents is going to eat this? No, we're not. De-annex the road. Another thing I have, El Norte POA. Each subdivision had their property. Why the MMD, a government entity, took our POA property from us, which Attorney General's office again, we're getting our property back. Let's start there for the animals. We got our own PLA property. Once we get it back, we have land in each subdivision that pertains to the people that live there. You just don't wake up one morning and you're an MMD and take our property. It doesn't work like that. Another item, I told you we were targeted. Mass email went out. Gail Campbell, Loan Originator Services. Yes, her father, Scott Campbell, S.R. Campbell, they're developing in Tarkington, said, because this is an attack on our industry, it's not only the Harrises they're after. The right-wing party wants to stop the development in its nature. The left wants to knock us out of the market because we make money off the poor. For a completely different reason, those are the entities we have been fighting. We will not be able to sell our development if each buyer has to have a social security number. And if we have to qualify each buyer for the ability to repay, it will kill our industry and make our future resales, foreclosures a lot less worth, because we're fighting over a few qualified buyers. What does that say in small words? We were attacked, the Hispanic community. They need us. We can't go backwards. We can go forward. I came with solutions. We're going to get our property back.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
All right. Move right along to the declare conflicts. Turn that back on. Declare conflicts of interest. Do we have anything on here? Number six. Number six from Commissioner Whitmire. All right. Move along to the consent agenda. It looks like we got our warrants payable just in time. Yeah, we did. Y'all had an opportunity to look over those. If so, what is the court's pleasure at this time?
Any amendments?
No, we didn't have any add-ons.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, a second from Dave to approve the consent agenda as stands. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Regular agenda 8.1 for me is consider and approve salaries and allowances of elected officials of Liberty County, Texas for fiscal year 2026 pursuant to section 152.013 of the Texas Local Government Code. I assume that y'all all received your notifications and had the opportunity to look over those.
Yeah, I did. I have a question, a couple of questions. So I couldn't help but notice that the county attorney's salary did not increase or for the next fiscal year.
Is statutory set.
So all the county elected is getting what, 3%?
Yes,
And the judge is getting what?
a little bit, 6 over the 3.
Is that fair?
You say. If you don't like it, you don't have to vote for it.
No, I agree, yeah. No, I thought they all need to get, I want them to get all they can get,
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
so.
I have another question. Why is it this come up now before we do the entire budget? Is it
It
some
has to
kind
be
of?
posted.
It has to be posted and sent to each of the office holders. They have to be given an opportunity to request a hearing for the salary agreements committee, and all of that in time for the budget to be approved in September.
Matthew, she's trying to get you to turn your back on.
Oh. You want me to say that again, don't you? But yeah, mine's capped.
Yeah.
It can't increase.
His salary, the district attorney's salary, the county court of law salaries are statutorily
Okay.
attached to what a district judge makes.
When I was looking at that one stood out in that there was no increase for the coming year. So you're saying they're likely is a salary increase. It's just not part of this process.
He gets a raise in 4-year increments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's fair. We get 3% and you're getting what, 9.7? Basically 10%. I mean, all the elected officials work very hard. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Like I said, David, if you don't like it, you don't have
Right,
to.
no, I understand. I don't think that's close to being fair though.
Okay.
I don't know if this helps, but again, the judicial folks and legal folks only get an increase every 4 years. So that they have not been receiving any of the cost of living adjustments in the last 4 years. So there's some catch up, if you want to think of it that way.
So you think that's why the percentage is what it is?
Yes.
Is the 4-year increment?
For you,
No, not for me, for the judicial folks.
yeah.
Well, I'm talking about all the elected
County
officials.
attorney and,
All the elected officials are getting 3%, correct? The sheriff, everyone, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Across the board.
I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
And everybody's entitled.
Correct.
You bet. So we have a motion or not? How do you want to go about this? That's what we're here for.
Well, I think we all need to get the same across the board, as the elected officials.
Then make that motion. I mean, it's up to you, David. I can't make it for you.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what's on the table today, so we can't change it today.
We're here to discuss. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll make a motion to table it.
We're not gonna run out of time, okay?
Right, no, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I mean, I don't agree with this, so, but we can't change it today because this is what's on the agenda.
Whatever you
I
want
guess
to
you
do.
can make a motion to amend it, I guess.
Make a, yeah, you can,
City made a motion to table.
Well, I'm asking,
Oh, okay.
if you want to make a motion to table, that's fine.
You can amend, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can make a motion to amend right now. You can say certain figures. You
okay,
can say
well, I make a motion to
percentages.
10% across the board for all elected officials.
I don't think that would be fair, because we're not gonna be able to do that to the public, not to the rest of the county, as much as we'd like to.
Okay.
No, we have too many projects going on this year with our animal shelters,
So
jails and
what's
everything
the
else to
answer to
give
that?
ourselves a 10% raise.
Give everybody a 3%.
I would not be in favor of that at all.
No, I'm fine, well, let's just,
If we could give everybody a 10% raise, that would.
no, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree.
No, we did that, 10% probably 8 years ago.
Mhm.
We had not voted to
we did.
give raises for
Right, we did.
4 years, for elected officials. I'm just
So
trying
I'll
to catch up.
withdraw that,
Okay.
so. You'll
So
table it?
where do we stand in terms of salaries with other counties our size? Has anybody looked at that? Is that how we're approaching this? Looking
I
as,
think for the counties that are 100,000. I think we're probably fit in.
so we're within the range. Is that what you think, Dwayne?
We're in 100,000, we're grouped into counties, some small counties like us, some a lot bigger.
I mean, mine's lower than Chambers County, Harris County, and Montgomery County, for sure. But yet, you look at Montgomery County and then especially Chambers County with the commissioners, where they have a unit system instead of a precinct system. And their salaries are lower than what the average would be. Simply because, they have the unit system, so really the county commissioner becomes an administrator and not a road builder and such. There's ways to look at it, but you have to study it pretty hard. But yeah,
So,
mine is
We just
lower.
need to table it.
That's y'all's decision. Yeah, if you want to table it, you can make a motion to table.
Sure.
See if we get a second. If we get a second, see where it goes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table.
Okay, got a motion from David, a second from Greg to table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 2, from Mr. Brown over in the tax office. Brother Rick, if you would, consider and approve overpay refund in the amount of $4,396.03 for customer Jimmy Cumberland, account number 203029.
We verify that the tax refund, correct?
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, Judge, this is our requirement. Anytime we refund more than $2,500, we have to bring it to the court for their approval.
Mhm.
In this particular case, CoreLogic, which is the third party, made a payment, customer paid it after creating a refund, so naturally that goes back to them. I think the amount is spelled out, I'm sorry, that was $4,000.
$396.03.
So that's what we're talking about on this. Just require the court's approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from, second from David. Mhm. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 3 from Mr. Brown, consider and approve an overpay refund in the amount of $5,234.61 for customer First Liberty Bank, account
This
number
was a little
23450.
different, Judge, it's the same principle, same requirement over 2,500, but actually we had a bank that was making a payment for a customer that had sold the property, and they didn't realize that they would continue to make that payment. So naturally, when they came to their attention, they were a little concerned and wanted us just to refund the money back to them. And, naturally, it wasn't a refund at that point, it was the actual payment. So if we would have given it back to them, then that person who didn't pay, because they paid on his behalf, not meaning to, but they paid for it, there would have been considerable penalty and interest involved on it. So I contacted, we made an effort, actually through Facebook, to find out where the guy, the phone number, and the property was really, I could have walked across the street and found it, but, finding the guy was a little bit, and we actually contacted the person, got him to come in and explain to him, hey, someone made your payment. Yeah, I went in there, tried to make a payment, had his check, but y'all told me it was paid. And I was gonna look into it, but, never got looking into it. So anyway, we got him to come in, and upon then getting it, then the First Liberty was actually a refund. So we were able to get that turned around. No penalty and interest, because we never lost any money. We just kept it. We just let him pay it like it should have been done the first time.
Okay.
So long story short, we got everybody in, we got it settled, but it still involved getting First Liberty back their money.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David. Any further discussion?
Thank you, Richard.
Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 4 from Ms. Chambers. Discuss and approve the renewal and upgrade of GIS mapping software by Internation Computer Works Incorporated, originally purchased by the Elections Office for redistricting, to be used for mapping purposes by the Liberty County Clerk's Office, including elections, the Liberty County Permit Office, voter registration, and other county offices. The quote includes the renewal as well as on-site installation and training for the new users in an amount not to exceed $26,000. The mapping printer in the county clerk's office will be used for printing the maps. Makes it a little bit easier to print them right there, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Is this also going to help the permitting department?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
What we found out is that the software that our former EA bought back in 2020 is still there. It's still on the computer. Nick John, worked with the company, got some information on upgrading it, and then we asked them about making it almost like a server so that other entities could use it. So we can use it for elections, we can use it for alcoholic beverage licenses, we could use it for permits, Ricky can use it for voter registration. So we're gonna make it kind of a county system, and then keep doing printing on the big maps in our office, but everyone will be able to view it on their computer. So I think this is a good thing, but they're gonna come in and work on it on site and train everyone on site. So the not to exceed includes the travel and hotel. We don't know what that's gonna be, but we don't think it's gonna exceed this amount.
And this is coming out of what budget?
It's our software, right?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Will this also help us on the naming of
You have a
roads?
plotter?
Yes,
Great.
that's roads, everything. We're gonna try to get a current up-to-date mapping system for you.
Good.
Not bug, CAD so much.
All right. Not that we bother him that much, but yeah. Number 5 from the sheriff, consider and approve First Amendment to jail space per day agreement between Liberty County, Texas and Young County, Texas.
Yes, sir, Judge. The original contract had all the hospital ambulance prescriptions, doctor bills sent to us. It was cheaper since Young County had contracts with them at reduced rates, that they're now gonna pay the bills and bill us, so it would save us money.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David. You almost beat him.
Thank you.
Almost.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen. Number 6, from Ms. Soliday over in permits and inspections. Consider and approve the request for Colony Ridge to accept road for Santa Fe subdivision, section 14, to the 2-year maintenance and replace the surety bond with a 2-year maintenance bond. Attached for your review is a letter of recommendation of commencement for the 2-year maintenance period from LJ Engineering. Melinda?
Everything's, LJA went out and did the inspection. There was a couple drainage issues, which their, Colony Ridge is well aware of, but that can all be taken care of during the 2-year maintenance period.
David, have you looked at these roads?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got a general problem. It's a personal problem with 4 months experience in this job, in that when we accept something with deficiencies, when is the developer required to go do it? If they go do it right ahead of the end of the 2-year maintenance program, and then we still have problems, then it becomes the county's problem.
Because if they don't be accepted.
Well, but you hear me out though. If we go through the 2-year period,
Yes.
and it's acceptable then, but then the failure mechanism kicks in,
Well,
and
they're been made
and-
aware of
bec-
it. I know
because
I know
because
the
I've got
subdivision.
I've got several subdivisions that have deficiencies that were approved by this court that are in terrible shape, and the homeowners they're mad and they want the county to address it, and in lots of cases the drainage can't. Again, I think all the deficiencies should be addressed prior to us going into that period, and then we'll see how it works out in that during that time frame. And then again, because if we do this for the drainage and we do it for the roads, what keeps a developer from going in right ahead of the end of the 2-year fixing the road, and then in a year or two we find out that the repair wasn't sufficient? So that's I can't support any of the things that have the noted deficiencies, and that's why I'm bringing this up. It doesn't have anything to do. It's just my 4 months of experience on the job and the problems that we're facing, that I think everything should be right before we approve it. And again, that's just my personal opinion.
You say the deficiencies that they found have been repaired already on this road?
They have not been repaired, to my knowledge. I know that they are aware of them, and they're drainage issues. So,
And if they're not repaired or fixed in a timely manner, can we take this back?
Well, never, if they don't fix it, then it's
I
their
believe
option.
that's what,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. There was a road, not a subdivision, but there was a road accepted last year, and the drainage, it's cutting into the roads, and this is a very hilly piece of property, and it's going to require tens of thousands of dollars to repair at some point. And it was accepted. It was bypassed. The 2-year maintenance period was waived with a check. And now the county's we're going to have to address it. And it's going to be huge expenses, because this property is very hilly. It's got creeks running through it. It's going to cut out the roads. And so I just think it's a bad practice. And that's just my opinion.
Anybody else?
we can probably just table this until the repairs are done, because I know at River Ranch, when I go out and inspect those, they make the repairs and then call
They
me
make
back
them
to,
immediately and
correct,
call you back.
call me back, and I go right out back out there and re-inspect the roads, and then I'll sign off and call you.
So yeah, I've got one developer now that wants us to get into the 2-year maintenance, and we've got soft spots in the roads. And to be honest, I've seen pictures in the past, we haven't done it this year, where we excavated the road where these soft spots were and pulled up stumps that were buried into the center of the road. And so as those stumps decay, the road sinks. And I've been, and Ms. Soliday knows, they've been calling and contacting her and me to get us in there. And again, this has nothing to do with the item on the agenda here,
Well, when
but it just
someone
has to
requests
do.
be on the agenda, I have to.
No, I understand.
But I understand your-
I just see it as an issue unless everything is complete, and then we go there.
With the developer, like I said.
Yeah.
Address that real quick.
Can you please walk forward?
I understand.
John.
Absolutely, that's,
Come up, talk about it, please.
yes. Hi, John Harris. Joe, I think you're absolutely right. I want to see these roads set right. But in our circumstance, it's a little bit different, because almost everyone there's own finance. We've got a bunch of land behind us and a bunch in front of us, and we are married to the customer. And so we've got to make them happy. And we've been working well with the county for a long time, and y'all are stuck with us and we're stuck with you for a good while, right? So, and I'm not in a situation where developer can just walk away from this, because we haven't got the money yet. We own finance most of this problem. But to your point, I think that's not a bad policy. In practice, the timing of, we get a punch list, we complete a punch list, we get contractors up, we get bids, we get it done, then we get the county to come back out and inspect. And if one little thing goes wrong, then it's back to the clock ticks, and so it may be 90 days from getting a punch list to getting another inspection. And if anything happens, somebody runs over a stop sign, then we're knocked out.
But Mr. Harris, if you just address this drainage issue now,
No,
then
we're
it
gonna
could
do
get
that.
on the.
We're gonna do that anyway. We're gonna do it this in the next few weeks, because
Okay.
we don't have it.
And that's my only point, is address it, bring it to the court. We have no objections from our engineering firm, and then we approve it and go. That's just
So the engineering firm has already recommended approval, but so what you're saying, as long as this is the policy that's gonna be carried out, like everyone gets the same treatment, I'm fine with it.
no, I agree. Again, I'm just bringing this up because I'll give you a good example. Encino Estates, I've got people that are really mad about their drainage. They have cattails growing in their front yards, and there's no way to drain that subdivision. And we accepted that subdivision with these culverts at various elevations, and you can drain one property, but you're going to create a trap at the next. And they're all capped with concrete and bulkheaded with concrete. And it's a big drainage mess.
I
And so,
definitely- we've got
and so I'm
that
living that
solution.
dream, and because I'm living that dream, that's why I'm taking exceptions
I mean,
to
I
this.
think that, I mean, our situation is different because our.
And it very well could be.
If the commissioner that's accepting the roads, looks at the roads and is used to working with, I mean, and that's what we elect, the commissioners to do their job. And I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. I just wanted to say that, you know, in our case, this is something that we always do fix these deficiencies as early as possible because we don't,
Okay.
it doesn't benefit us to wait 2 years. The problems, if it's drainage, typically it gets worse before.
But I hope,
until it gets
I hope you can respect the fact that I don't believe that everybody does that.
Absolutely. No,
But I have firsthand information and knowledge of that, so.
no, I don't think it's about idea, about policy. It's in practice. A lot, I've seen it before where it can be used to never accept roads. In a different county, in a different place, in a different world, but I've been there and it was, you know, a year of fix a punch list, then there's something else wrong. Fix a punch list, stop sign got wrong. Someone drove through the ditch, that needs to be repaired. And so it could go forever, so whatever the policy is, whatever y'all want to do, you know, we're here to.
Okay.
To do what.
Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
What's the
Carol,
court's
was
pleasure?
that a motion to table?
No, I made no motion.
Okay.
I just stated my point of view.
What's the court's pleasure?
Well, until we come up with a change to the way we do accept these, I would think that we would really have not much of a choice now but to accept this and have the commissioner there make sure that these repairs are done, if not brought back to court.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion for Bruce to approve. Is there a second? I'll give it a little bit. Okay. Hearing none, motion dies for a lack of second. Is there another motion to consider? Would you consider taking no action? Would you consider?
I'd like a motion to take no action this time. Let's get this process ironed out. How we gonna handle this?
So I'll just say it's going to come up 2 or 3 more times
Yeah.
in this meeting today, Greg, because there's some exceptions made. And again, I'm just trying to make the point that I really feel like the court needs to have everything lined up, done properly, meets all the guidelines and standards before we move forward. That's my whole point. This has nothing to do with this development and this piece of drainage.
But normally, when, you know, we set them into the 2-year deal, at the end of 2 years, if they're not, we don't bring them, take them into, we don't take them.
Matthew, what's our legal standings on this?
I think if there are deficiencies and they don't meet the standards, y'all are within your right to deny at this point. Developers generally want to replace their prior bond with a maintenance bond as soon as possible. I think the terms are more favorable. And so there's greater leverage before you put it in the maintenance program.
I think I heard Mr. Harris say he can get this done and has it on the plans to get it done rather quickly. And so, to me, we get it done, put it on there, we get it approved and move on.
Yeah, I can get it done in a couple of weeks, we can approve it.
No, absolutely.
Okay. Well, currently we have had a motion from Bruce and died for lack of second. So now I have a motion from Greg to take no action.
Do we just want to table that instead of, so we can bring it back in 2 weeks?
Well, that would be the wise thing.
Okay, I'll withdraw my vote.
Would you prefer to make that a table?
Yes.
I'll second that table.
Okay, so we have an agreement, at least for 2.
No,
We have tabled this from Greg with a second for Bruce. Now, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. Of course, David, you're abstaining, correct? Okay. So that was 3 ayes and 1 abstain. Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to number 6. From 6 to 7, yeah. Okay, Melinda. Consider and approve the preliminary plat, preliminary drainage plans from Tarkington Downs Phase 1. The subdivision is in precinct 2 with 322 single-family lots. This is located off of Highway 105. LJ Engineering has recommended approval, and a map showing the proposed layouts and design is attached in the packet. Melinda, what else you have to add to this?
This is, it's 195 acres total. And they're gonna do it in 3 phases. The first phase, I believe, has section 1, 2, and 3, and I kind of outlined it, but I don't know if you got a color copy of the map that I sent, or if you got black and white. But it's the front section towards 105. So their phase 1 has 322 lots total. And this is supposed to be all curb and gutter. They're gonna have their own wastewater treatment plant and septic and stuff like that.
So the letter in this one just said, it just has the basic caveats that the onus is on the owner's engineer.
Yes.
And so there were no other objections.
No,
Yeah.
LJA has gone over all of the plans,
The lot sizes,
the lot sizes.
they didn't find any problem.
They do have 181 lots, they're only 40 foot wide, but they're 120 foot deep. However, it's supposed to be curb and gutter. I think in the past, we've allowed the 40 foot frontages.
Yeah.
What our,
when they
what our
do
subdivision regulations say.
50.
50. And the other,
They don't
they
meet
got,
the subdivision regulations.
yeah, they all know the subdivision.
Do what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
They don't meet the subdivision regulations.
Not with the 40 foot.
Okay, well, we can't prove them now without, we prove it, acceptance to
Well, a variance to
the
the,
variance of the subdivision.
and have we met Tarkington Downs people yet?
I don't think so.
I'd like to meet them.
Originally, it was just Tarkington Track, and then I found out it was Tarkington Down.
I'd prefer that they come into court and visit with us.
Yeah, I would like to visit with them too.
Make a motion to take no action.
Second.
Got a motion from Bruce. Take no action. Second from David. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll get with them.
Okay. Number 8 from Melinda, consider and approve progress payment number 2 from King Solution Services LLC in the amount of $283,082.40 for the city of Hardin sanitary rehabilitation using ARPA funds. Remember that, ARPA funds. All back up is attached and signed as required in the packet. So it looks like it's all ready to go. Melinda, is there anything else you need to add to it?
No, sir, just need your approval. so I
We've been
can
working with the mayor on this one.
Yeah.
Generally, but
I have the forms for you guys to sign.
Okay.
after the meeting.
What's the court's pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
they,
Motion from Gerald, second from Greg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye. Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 9 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve progress payment number 1 from CNA Construction LLC in the amount of $21,827.77 for the, again, ARPA sewer system improvements for the city of Ames using ARPA funds. All backup and signed documents are attached in the packet as we require. Melinda, is there anything else you need to add?
No, sir.
Are they just about finished with both these projects?
Getting really close.
Okay.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve this one.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 10 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve progress payment number 2 from CNA Construction LLC in the amount of $96,807.53 for ARPA sewer system improvements for the city of Ames using, again, ARPA funds. All backup is attached and signed as required in the packet. Pretty self-explanatory. Melinda, anything else you need to add?
No, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from Bruce, second from David. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 11 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve progress payment number 3. That was a typo, but that's the way we received it, so we had to make the correction here today. Number 3, from CNA Construction LLC in the amount of $150,083.97 for ARPA sewer system improvements in the city of Ames using ARPA funds. All backup is attached and signed as required in the packet. What say the court?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Greg. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 12 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve progress payment number 4 from CNA Construction LLC in the amount of $81,584.55 for the ARPA sewer system improvements for the city of Ames using, again, ARPA funds. All backup is attached and signed in the packet. Pretty self-explanatory. Is there any other things you'd like to add, Melinda?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, a second from Greg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 13 from Ms. Soliday, consider and approve the Horseshoe Lake Camp no-rise review for the site currently proposed. There is no actual work being completed in the regulatory floodway. Attached for your review is a letter of no objection from LJA Engineering, contingent upon TxDOT approval for site drainage and street tie-in, a copy of which will need to be sent to Liberty County. Well,
What are they doing at?
Contingent.
Second States? Is that-
Yeah.
that contingent point gets,
So again, when I look through all of these, again, there's an exception. If we're the final vote, I think we should wait until they get.
Yeah, they haven't really discussed anything with me about any of it.
None of it.
Is this Horseshoe Lake Estate?
I moved it, saying,
No, this is Horseshoe Lake Camp. It's a one lot that they're making a camp, for youth.
Okay.
have they been in to see us yet?
I don't think they came to see you guys either.
They need to.
I had invited y'all to come, but I don't think you were there that day. So we can set up another meeting. That's not a problem. Or if you would rather bring them here to.
Yeah.
Court, that's fine.
I'll second that motion.
Was that a take no action?
Take.
No,
Table.
table.
Okay. Got a table from Greg, second from Bruce. That's what you had, Lee? Okay. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Don't sit down yet, Melinda. You got
No,
one more.
this is what
Okay.
everybody's wanting.
Consider and approve the Harrington Aggregates no-rise analysis review for the site currently proposed. Attached for your review is a letter of no objection with contingencies from LJA Engineering. Applicant is supplying a signed and sealed no-rise floodway certificate certifying that the findings of this analysis resulted in a no rise and no impact to the flood stage along the Trinity River. Point 2, applicant supplying proof of submission of documentation to Texas Parks and Wildlife Department to ensure that no other permits are required for this site based on the proximity to the riverbed. And point 3, provided that the project is not substantially modified from the currently presented design.
So do we have proof of that submission of documentation to
I have
Texas
not
Parks and
received-
Wildlife?
I have not seen it yet.
And I don't know, I don't have any idea what that is.
Well, they need the Texas Parks and Wildlife because of their proximity to the Trinity River.
Mr. Bergman, you're here this morning. You're the engineer of record. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you would, please.
Yes, you should have received that. We submitted that to Parks and Wildlife, no problems. And I got a letter back from Parks and Wildlife, and I sent it to everybody on the list.
Yeah, I got a copy of that.
Did you get a copy? Okay, I didn't see it.
Half a dozen, 2 dozen people I sent information.
So Greg, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have no problems with it, the Corps has no problems with it. They only care, Parks and Wildlife really don't care unless it's in the
river.
Now, we're not in the river.
Okay.
So it's.
So you can approve of this.
In the long,
Can approve.
Cameron's all right with the floodplain administrator. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion from Bruce. Thank you.
I
Second
tried.
from Gerald.
I tried to get one in.
That's all right. you
It's
got
all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bruce made the motion. Gerald made the second.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have been away.
No, we just did.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays.
Good.
That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 15 from Mr. Brown and Brother Rick is here with us. Consider and approve the overpay refund in the amount of $2,971.18 for customer Texas Bay Credit Union account number 196460.
Yes, sir, and that's, again, under the 2,500 refund. It exceeds that, so we're actually gonna give that money back.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 16 from Mr. Brown, consider and approve overpay refund in the amount of $3,342.07 for customer CoreLogic tax service account number 243500. And that's another overpayment.
Yes, sir, 2,500, over 2,500 takes your action, and I recommend that be approved as well.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from David, second from Bruce. My ears are working pretty good this morning.
Yeah, they are.
Not bad at all. Motion from David, second from Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you,
No more
gentlemen.
money going back today.
Not today. Okay. Number 17 from Mr. C over in the purchasing department. Consider and approve payment application number 9 from White Construction in the amount of $510,679.54 for the Northwest Annex Project. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Just need to pay White Construction.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
How's that looking out there?
Good. Yeah, looking real good.
Motion from David, second from Greg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 18 from Mr. C, consider and approve recommendation to award ITB number 25-07/ law enforcement vehicles, and if applicable, execute the contract. Harold?
Okay, we had 2 vendors quote. I think we didn't have more because we had to use ARPA. I think all the federal legalese or whatever in it scared them off, but we had 2, Caldwell Country and Sewell family of companies. And they were pretty close, but the lower bid for Tahoes was $67,565.06.
67,506 cents.
67565.06.
From which one?
Sewell.
I'll make the motion to approve.
What was Caldwell's?
Caldwell's was 69,060.
And don't we normally deal with Caldwell a lot more than, never heard Sewell before. I know who they are,
I
but
think we use them on one thing, but yeah, they're evidently getting a little more aggressive trying to bid on
yeah,
more.
that's good.
Okay,
A
got a
second.
motion from Gerald.
It's okay.
Gerald?
Gerald made the motion.
Bruce?
Greg.
Greg got the
Greg
second.
got it.
Okay. Got my G's on here today. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's hard to imagine when Bruce doesn't get it.
No. Motion from Gerald, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number
Moving.
19 from Mr. C. Consider and approve the purchase of 13 quantity law enforcement vehicles and equipment in the amount of $917,995.65 as obligated by the memorandum of understanding for vehicles designated for public safety use using, drumroll, ARPA funds. Okay?
Okay, that's the vehicles you just approved. This is,
Yeah.
y'all approving that we can use the ARPA funds. We've dedicated $984,453 for this purpose, and they came to 917,995, which leaves 66,000 left over. What we did, a Stephanie in my office worked on this for months.
Yeah.
And she worked with the judge on it some, trying to figure out the best way to do it, because you have 6 constables, of course, they all want 6 different things in their car. So we got it down to what we thought everybody needed basically, which is, the sirens, the cages, the lights, probably 10 or 15 different things that they always require on the cars, on law enforcement. We used to buy from the dealers, and then we'd have to take it to an upfitter to put all this on it. Now the dealers, for the last year, maybe 2 years, they're starting to do that, including that in their bid.
Mhm.
And so that's what happened on these. So most of it's going to be equipped. The only thing that they didn't add was a stalker radar and a ticket printer, which adds about $3,000 to the bid. So it makes each one of them 70,615. So that allows for 13 cars with about 66,000 left over. And we'll ask commissioners, y'all approve this, we'll ask commissioners later on if they'll need decals and various other things, and they could use the 66,000 if y'all approve it.
Yeah.
And then whatever they don't use, y'all can transfer over to one of the other projects.
So these were designated ARPA funds
Yes.
for this purpose, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Again,
Make a motion to.
Months
approve.
and months and months ago.
yeah, I got you, Bruce. That's why I asked, because I don't know.
Okay. Got a motion from David, looking for a second.
Second.
Second from Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 20 from our tax attorney over at Linebarger, consider and approve offer submitted to Linebarger by Mike Fielder on the following properties. Property ID number 126040 and 193253. The offer was Daniel Groves. The offer was $1 million. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah.
That wasn't a typo, okay? Don't see those very often, yeah.
It's over on 146. This property's over on 146. Over right, used to be the old manufacturing deal of, they made mud tanks out there.
Right.
Um,
It's kind of falling apart
Crack
now.
tanks, mud tanks, yeah.
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 So my question is when you got less 40% real estate commission, in the tax code, does this allow this to be done, paying a realtor for?
Well, there's no law against it. It's something we really need to do, and it's part of my story that I'm about to present.
Okay.
to you If you want to hear it.
Yeah.
This property is about 5 acres.
Mike, need a microphone.
Yeah, turn that one on. Turn it on. There you go. Now look at you.
Property is about 5 acres on the east side of 146. It was originally improved, and there was personal property on it. The personal property disappeared a long time ago. The improvements have pretty much fallen apart over the years. We filed a lawsuit for Dayton ISD back in the teens, got a judgment, and thereafter the taxpayer paid the taxes with money borrowed from a qualified tax lender. And therein lies the difficulty that emanated from that point forward. As you may already know, a qualified tax lender is able to assume the lien that the taxing entities had when he pays the taxes for the taxpayer. So now we have a lien on all these years in the name of the tax lender. That's okay, as long as the taxpayer pays the tax lender back and continues to pay his taxes on ensuing years, the more recent years. He did neither one of those things. So now you have a situation where the lien amounts begin to approach and finally do exceed the value of the property. One immutable law of tax collecting is that you come to the end of the line when nobody's willing to pay the next penny. It doesn't matter what the CAD says it's worth. It doesn't matter what the judgment says. It doesn't matter what has been paid or not paid. It doesn't matter what a person coming to the tax auction thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Once it becomes trust property, when you finally get to the point where nobody wants to pay anymore, that's all we're ever going to get. That's the important thing. All right, so the taxpayer does not pay either his lender, nor does he pay the ensuing years. So we sue him again. He takes a very aggressive defense, lawyers up, fights as long as he can. Finally, we get a judgment against him for the new years. He appeals to the Court of Appeals. We have to defend it in Beaumont, in the Court of Appeals. We're successful. Now we have a final judgment. And all this money is now added up. And that's where the difficulty comes in. He's not paying anything. He's not paying his lender. He's not paying the taxes that we have in the judgment. We're up getting close to $2 million now. In the meantime, the property is going downhill. Whatever is
Rapidly going downhill.
Yeah.
And that's what this one is doing.
Yes, it's falling apart. The personal property is long gone. And we have a situation where there's more lien amount than there is value to the property of anybody. So we have our final judgment, and we tried to start marketing the property. We get lots of offers. Nothing about this that makes people want to go away. It's just the amount. We start running 600,000s, get it up into the 800,000s, and finally we start getting offers around in the $1 million range recently. The problem is there are strings attached. They want a 75 to 90-day look-see period so they can get out of it for no reason or any reason if they don't like what they offer. They want a warranty, which we don't provide, those kinds of things. Until a member of my own law firm, Daniel Sylvia, who is originally from Chambers County, finds somebody in Chambers County that makes a clean offer of $1 million. He doesn't mind a quitclaim deed. He doesn't want an inspection. He'll take it in whatever condition it's in. $1 million. Except the tax lender shortly before that apparently runs out of patience, hires a real estate agent. To your point, who shoves a sign in the ground and hopes that somebody will come along and pay enough to pay him. All right, so we have $1 million. And another thing that you probably already know is everybody has to say yes. Any one person can veto the whole deal. It's not the majority at all. So the tax lender has a completely different outlook on these things than do the taxing entities. The taxing entities, part of what is important to us is that we get the property back on the tax roll. We've got a very valuable piece of property and it's been off the tax roll 2 years now. And time is running. The tax lender looks at things completely differently. There's no getting back on the tax roll advantage for him. When he gets his last penny from the offer, that's the end of it. He's looking at his board of directors and trying to explain to them why they got into something that's going to lose them money. So they're the last holdout. They just can't seem to want to go along with any of these offers. But finally they capitulate to the $1 million offer, except they want everybody to participate in the commission to the real estate agent. I tell them, you hired them, you take care of them. So they think about that a while and they say, here's what we'll do. We'll go down from 6% to 4%. You got rid of that, I reckon. Still don't like it. It just doesn't ring right. Say, no, we don't want to do that. He says, you may not want to, but I'm telling you right now, we're going to say no unless you participate in it. Okay, now we're talking about dimes on the dollar. To make this story finally come to an end, we get it down from $12,000 to $9,000 that all the tax entities will participate in. So $9,000 to the real estate agent, that's what you're seeing on your paper there. Which means that you will, the county will pay somewhere around $2,000 or $3,000, I guess. City will pay something like that, school will pay the other half if you approve. So there's where the numbers come from. You will see that the county should have gotten $115,000 and a little bit more dollars. It's going to end up with $63,644.91 if you say yes. The school has said yes in a meeting last week. The tax lender has verbally said you can live with that. It's before you today, it'll be for the city when they meet middle of next month. And that's where it stands.
So Mike, in 2009, the last time I was, in May of 2009, I sat on the Dayton Independent School District Board.
Yes, you did.
You probably presented because you were there, you were a topic monthly.
What is,
And you said if you get half of if you can get half of the taxes back, it's a good deal. And so this is more than half the taxes back.
A little bit more, that's right.
So you think this is a good deal?
Well, based on my experience with everybody that's made offers and what they had to say about everything, the way the place looks, we could wait a long time before we try to find something better than this. This is
It could be a hazard
What is-
too,
yeah.
because there's a lot of
what
loose
does
tin.
Linebarger think about this? I mean, this, y'all
Thank
are
you.
our tax, y'all
Yes,
represent
thank
us.
you. Yes, thank you, Mike. Derek Mendoza here on behalf of Linebarger, being the intervener in this case.
Mhm.
My thoughts are, it's a good bid, $1 million. We all can agree for a property. The only issue I have with it, and Mike and I have talked about this, and talked to Rick about a little bit about it, is the realtor fee, the $40,000 realtor fee that the tax lien transfer company, Mike mentioned, somehow assessed, because they may not know the process that well, because normally in tax cases, there is no realtor fee. The
Yeah.
code doesn't really specify for it, because there are different laws involved when it comes to tax cases. They're sold for much less value than a regular transaction. So there's really never a need for a realtor commission on these cases. We've never seen it before, this is the first time. That being said, I know that they agreed to, I was not privy to that, but they agreed to maybe 9% pro rata by the,
Well, they offered
they offer.
that. That's
Right.
what's on the table.
And that's on the table, that kind of comes out of what we as the county get. And that's actually
I'm sorry, not 9%, $9,000.
$9,000.
Yeah.
But it's pro rata what we were owed in the judgment, so it's about 6-7% of that 9,000 that we come out of our pockets.
So the total, it went from 40,000 to 9,000?
Right, I believe that the tax lien transfer company, tax court lending is going to pay $31,000 for that outright. Because and honestly, if you ask my opinion, I believe we shouldn't have to pay any of it simply because we did not need this realtor service or whatnot. That being said, if we want to get it back on the roll, it is actually the pleasure of the board. If you do want to vote on this, you can. But again, make sure the math is correct. We provided you with the amended calculation on both ends just to make sure that we usually do that, to make sure the math is correct, that we're in fact only paying our percentage pro rata of that 9,000 and not the 40,000. It's a big difference there. We'll still be getting in the 50s as far as percent recovery, and as Mr. Fielder, you mentioned earlier, That's not a bad recovery for something
No.
like this.
No, it is not.
Normally,
Okay.
you want to get it back on the roll, but again, it's the pleasure of the board if you want to vote on this and accept that, again, 9,000 percentage fee, not 40.
Right. Ricky, you had something you would say?
Yes. I typically don't get involved in the sale of the properties. Again, I'm the collector.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it comes down to what we can bring back to the entities. Unfortunately, in my past, I've had to liquidate a lot of properties. I've had to negotiate on a lot of properties that, maybe were unique, maybe didn't have a whole big market for it. I think Mike has been involved in this thing now, probably 3 years of this litigation. What he didn't mention was this taxpayer has thrown all kind of roadblocks against this thing. The way the third-party lien plays is, in 2018, they came in and paid the county, the school, the drainage district, and the city $600,000 of delinquent taxes. So what happened, we transferred that lien, that tax lien for those 5 years to that tax client. That was their collateral. That was their lien to be able to get their money paid back. And then we kept going forward with 19 through 24. Unfortunately, and I found this out, I contacted the tax client couple years ago. I've been involved in it probably 3 years since I took over Dayton ISD, because this was their biggest problem they had as far as collections. Mike and them had already started working on it, but to me, it looked like it was going to be pretty big issue. Another issue was the valuation by CAD by, again, a third party who came in there and did an inspection in 2019, put a big value on these warehouses, these buildings that now are scattered all over 146. Right. Because the 10 never was finished. It was a prefab shop. They were doing various things. So this case built up from that point on. $600,000 was gotten by the entities. As it turns out, tax client's going to get about $663,000 back. So they're going to get their base tax back. They're not getting any of their party, any of their penalty, their interest, any of their stuff. They took on our life when they took over our lien. So they became a taxing entity in a sense. And then we started collecting. We didn't get any more tax money from them from 19 on to 24. Another lesson learned, I think, was once you get paid and they miss the next year, jump on them with both feet. Don't let them build up 2 or 3 years. And obviously check with the other lenders to see, are they paying you? Because they're paying us. And typically when these third parties come in, we're usually in the 30% where they own 30% of it, we own 70. That's usually the relationship. However, this one was 70%, 30, because they had 10 years of unpaid taxes. We only had 5. Because again, they had the 18 back, 18 forward, they didn't get paid. So all of a sudden, they built up a bigger position than us. And that makes it hard to negotiate. So this whole real estate fee, no, totally against paying a real estate fee. But the guy said, I was involved with Mike because he was back and forth with me. I talked to some of the people, but again, I didn't get involved in the direct negotiation. He was, because it was Dayton ISD's with the lead. It came down to, they dropped from 6% to 4%. So basically from 60,000 to 40,000. And they wanted us to pay our 30% between the schools, city, drainage, and the county. It's a 30-70% ratio, pretty much. Okay. That's how everything's split up. You take the million and you cut it that way. As it turned out, they wanted us to pay $12,000, which had been 1/3 of it. And Mike told him no. He said, okay, my answer to that $1 million is no, and not budging off of that. So again, the biggest thing before we came to any entity was we had to get that tax client to agree to the offer. They thought they were going to get $1.2 million, $1.3 million. They hired this realtor. He brought him $1 million offer. less 60,000. So they were only getting 940,000 that we would have been splitting up. Now we split up, you know, the 9,000, they're paying the 31,000. It's not typical, it's not unique, but for this deal to be accepted, you had to buy into it. So basically, I suggest to Mike that we just do a flat fee. Let's go $9,000, see if they'll take it. He took it and he agreed to it. And to me, that's kind of the whole deal. That 9,000 was the deal, and the county's gonna pay about 3,000 of that, the city, school, it's prorated out. It's not a practice, we don't pay realtor, we don't give warranty deeds, but they had to take on our characteristics, and we feel like their offer was gonna be a lot of contingencies, a lot of things, we want a warranty deed, we want all these things, that's not the world we live in. So I think at the end of the day, it's a fair deal. It's not a good deal, it's not a great deal, it's a fair deal.
It's back on the tax roll.
Back on the tax rolls, and the property's just sitting there deteriorating.
So with our approval, this will completely clear everything up.
Drainage district is the only one held out because they hadn't been presented yet, but the tax client, Dayton ISD, y'all, and then you get the drainage district.
Well, I've seen a lot worse. This is 54.7% we're getting back. I make a motion to approve.
Agreed. I'll second.
Thank you.
Motion from Bruce, a second from Gerald.
Can I clarify, Mike, is it going to the city in June, or is it going to the drainage district?
The city has decided to meet only once a month, and they don't meet till the middle of June.
Okay, so the outstanding approval is city.
Drainage and the city, yes, right.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. All right, we got a motion from Bruce, a second from Gerald to approve. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank y'all for the discussion.
And maybe they'll clean that place up.
Boy, it needs it. Yeah. I'm waiting for some 10 to fly across 146 and hit somebody. Lord knows. Okay, number 21 from Mr. Dennis, consider and approve Liberty County OEM Command Trailer ISP connection. Epic 10, new vendor number is 4720. Partner agents A1 Telecom. Equipment is a Max BN R1 mini 5G cellular device. I have no idea what that is. Unlimited plan price is $241.45 per month. A one-time shipping cost of $40. Nick, what else we got?
That's it. We're just trying to get a internet provided to the new or the current OEM trailer we have that we're trying to retrofit and make operational.
Thank you. What say the court?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from David, second from Greg.
We have an OEM command trailer?
That's the same thing I said. We sure do, sir.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
It needs a little TLC, but it'll get there.
It new tires.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion from David, second from Greg to approve. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 22 from Mr. Dennis, consider and approve Constable 2 ISP connection, Epic 10, new vendor 4720. Partner agent, again, is A1 Telecom. It's a 300 GB, I guess that's a gigabyte.
Gigabytes. Yes, sir.
Gigabyte, yeah. 100 MB megabyte. Hey, I'm getting better.
You're getting there.
Router 5G adapter with W1855 outdoor adapter. Price is $331.45 per month. There's a one-time setup fee of $450. Nick?
So Console 2's been one of the hardest locations to get proper internet to. They're
Yes.
just in a dead zone. They're at the old, days at a DAP school, I believe.
Yep.
So I've been working with A1 Telecom. We've been trying to come up with solutions on cellular options, something that way we can tie them into the network and they get some of the more added functionality of the rest of these departments that we have. And they're going to kind of be the guinea pig moving forward to see how well this works. And this moving forward might be a backup for our JP2 office, which is on Frontier that constantly has connection issues. So they're going to kind of be the trial run. We're going to see how this goes. And if it works out great, we might be able to deploy it to some of the other rural locations.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from David
Too bad we can't combine
Yeah.
the constables
I
in
know.
JP's office.
That would solve a lot of issues, yes.
It would.
Motion from Bruce, second from David to approve. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion
you, gentlemen.
carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 23, a little bit long one, but discussion and potential action pursuant to Chapter 381, Texas Local Government Code and other authority, and that certain approved and active economic development program agreement originally dated May 4th, 2023, amended August 21st, 2024, by and between Liberty County, Texas, and Liberty County Solar Project LLC, which agreement includes the company's proposed donation by gift deed with general warranty to the county for authorized public purposes of all that certain tract or parcel of land located in Liberty County, Texas, a part of the J.A. Williams League or survey, okay, containing approximately 37.61 acres, more or less, identified as the donated land in the agreement. Please be informed that discussion of potential action may occur regarding the following matters. One, or A, consideration of approval of the county to proceed with and complete the closing of the aforesaid donated land transaction with the company pursuant to the agreement, which includes the payment of the closing costs for the transaction, whereby the county shall obtain title to possession of the donated land from the company through which donation conveyance procedure described in the agreement, and B, all related matters.
Jeez, that's a mouthful.
That's a long way of
Who wrote
saying
that?
this is the last piece in the puzzle.
Audits.
Yeah. So
Uh,
Catherine, if you would.
If y'all recall, we are a part of an active economic development agreement with Liberty County Solar. This has been going on for probably the last 18 months. Part of what enticed the court to enter into this agreement was donated lands in the amount of 37.61 acres. Which will potentially be used for a road down the line. We have come to the part of this transaction where all engineering tests have been done, and we need to close on the donated lands. So in your packet, you have a vote order that allows the judge to close on this property. Liberty County is responsible for about $2,230 in closing costs. I believe it's high because the title insurance was a little bit high. But this, and then of course, item number 24 will allow us to pay the closing costs in the form of a cashier's check tomorrow at closing at Tarver at 9 a.m.
Now you're losing me here. You're jumping to 24, which is a completely different item with the 2230.
They're related items. The vote order allows the judge to sign on behalf of the county to close. I wanted to be
On the land, the donated land.
correct.
Okay. Because item 24 has.
Is closing costs on the donated land.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
I wanted to be doubly
Yeah,
sure
it's-
that we approved the specific amount for closing costs.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion from Gerald.
Second.
Second from Bruce.
I caught him reading this time.
Yeah. To finally get this cattle herded down the alley. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 24 was partner to this, number 23. Consider and approve closing costs to Fortis Title LLC, doing business as Tarver Abstract Company, in the amount of $2,230 for donated property pursuant to active economic development program agreement between Liberty County Solar LLC to be issued in the form of a cashier's check. So that is the check for the closing,
Yeah.
which if you approve, the closing will be tomorrow.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion from David, second from Gerald. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 25 from Commissioner Arthur, consider an approval of upgrades of the County Road 2117 as outlined in the attached specifications. Greg, you got anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, they're gonna, this is bad, I mean, the house material they're building, said that they're gonna redo that road, bring it up to 80,000 pounds to add and replace the culverts on it and widen it by 2 feet.
Sound like a win-win.
Hey,
Precinct one.
Greg,
And we will furnish the culverts, but they will do all the replacement.
Okay.
I've got to learn from you guys. I know Bruce gets money from pipelines and things, and you're getting 1.3 miles of road upgraded to 80,000 pounds. Y'all got to tell me the secrets.
We've done that with several of them. Now, the one we just approved, they wanted to use the county road, but we had 2 93 turns in it, and there was no way they could use that road. They had to wind up building their own road out across their own property, but, we couldn't have 70 trucks a day going down.
Wow.
Make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve. Or
Got a
second?
motion from David,
Second.
second from Bruce to approve. Any further discussion?
No, I got to figure out how you do this.
It's arm
And,
twisted.
Hey, whatever it is, I need to know what it is.
We didn't do it in our first term.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. All right.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 26 will be an executive session item that I would ask at this time that we consider going into executive session. So I'll need a motion and a
Make a
second.
motion to go into executive session.
Got a motion from Bruce, a second from David. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Okay, it's now 10:30. 10:28. All right, we're back in a regular session out of executive session at 10:40 a.m. The Commissioners Court, of course, has the right to adjourn into executive session any time during the course of the meeting to discuss any of the matters listed above as authorized by Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, which is a consultation with our attorney, or 551.072, deliberation about real property. There are others as well. This was, in this case, was going to be 551.071, consultation with the attorney, and 501.0725, deliberations about contracts, specifically item number 26, which is to consider and approve the TREC contract between Liberty County and Fortis Investments, LLC, for the purchase of 400 Main Street, Liberty, Texas, 77575. What say the court in this matter?
Ms. Chambers, could you read that motion?
Motion to approve Texas Real Estate Commission, TREC contract between Liberty County and Fortis Investments LLC for the purchase of the property located at 400 Main Street, Liberty, Texas, 77575 through Realtor Dan Vandeventer for $760,000 with an option fee for inspection of $300. That's what I have.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion from Bruce, a second from David. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank
Make
you,
a motion
gentlemen.
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn from Bruce, second from David. All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned. It is 10:42.